Terrible truth about a cannibal sect that was active in central Ukraine. The gang's cruel leader is out of prison, trying to portray a victim. You will be shocked to hear who really stood behind the awful crimes. You're watching Psychic Investigations, a channel of true stories. People who call themselves clairvoyants solve resonant crimes and various mysterious phenomena. This time, a young woman approached the psychics, asking them for help. Svetlana is asking them to save her from a poltergeist that strangles her at night.
I feel suffocating when I sleep.
Svetlana has always been skeptical about spirits, so after the first episode of strangling, she went to medics. The detailed checkups didn't show any ailments, but the cases of strangling got more frequent.
I put my hand to my throat, trying to understand what is strangling me and why it is doing it. I was at the church. Prayers, candles, holy water. I am asking the psychics to help me because I want to live a normal life.
The project's most powerful psychics, Yaroslava Fedorova and Yana Pasinkova, answered the woman's request.
The picture is the following: a couple holding hands, and there's something above them. It looks like an arch or a portal, and also a head.
A human head?
Yes, it's hovering above them. Apparently it's some kind of deadly ritual.
I had a dream last night. I saw a young woman with a rose bouquet in her hands, and among the roses there were knives. She held the bouquet out to me and said it was all Svetlana's fault.
The clairvoyants are already at the woman's home.
Thank you so much for coming and agreeing to help me. I would like to know what's been strangling me all this time.
Could it be something related to the house?
There's one thing that I find disturbing. Tell me, please, why are you raising the dead from their graves?
What do you mean?
The dead are coming here through this mirror. It's a magic mirror.
Do you practice magic?
I'm even afraid to look into it because it's distorted.
Some kind of spirit visited Svetlana through the mirror. I first thought that she'd summoned it herself. But the card said that Svetlana had never practiced magic. I need to work with the mirror.
Oh! The door opened.
It's the girl.
I'm afraid.
I saw her in my dream. She was holding a bouquet of roses, among which there were knives. The spirit showed me a horrifying picture.
It's a house. What is this loop?
Search. Search for the hanged man and the red loop. The red loop?
Zhana Shulikova told me. I'm going on an investigation. A mother called me. Her son hung himself on something red in her house. How could this be?
It's unbelievable. It turned out the clairvoyant's colleague, Zhana Shulikova, is in the same town now. She's investigating the strange death of a young man who hung himself in his house.
I am confident an otherworldly force had something to do here.
He says, while I was dying, there was a girl next to me.
What girl?
A dead girl. She told him, help me, do something.
The psychics contacted Zhana Shulikova and decided to work in the house in which the man committed suicide.
We got out of the van, and the spirit of the girl with the bouquet was already waiting for us there. However, that time, she had no head.
Do you know each other?
No.
Can I take the owner and check the yard? Here, the soil is soaked with blood. I see the picture of arms sticking out. They're sticking out of the ground doing like this.
The head. There's a female head there. It's like hunters hanging animals' heads like trophies. The head, the female head. Black hair, not very long, should be reaching shoulders. Fair eyes. It's a young woman.
Svetlana suddenly stuns everyone.
My classmate was murdered. The murder was extremely violent. It was long ago, in 2002.
Was she beheaded?
Yes. She was black-haired, very young, just a girl.
Hold up. Was your classmate in this very yard?
I don't know.
What was her name?
Irina Humarova.
Let's ask the cards. The answer is yes.
Oh, well.
Yana.
The severed head. It's nailed to the door, hanging like this.
And I see arms over here.
My classmate. She was dismembered.
Did your son kill anybody?
No. I've lived here since 2005. No.
Suddenly, Irina's spirit emerged again. She approached Svetlana and said, "I'm sorry. I didn't know how else I could reach out to you. The murderer has been set free. Help me."
At this moment, Svetlana feels sick.
While we were talking about Irina, I had a feeling she was near.
All this time, it has been the deceased Irina who visited her friend to tell her the information about the murderer. She's asking for help.
What did she want from my son? She said the same thing. Help me. Didn't she, Jana?
The murderer was free, and he was very dangerous. We needed to stop him.
Her spirit is telling me, "Go to the place where I died, and I'll show you everything there."
I heard that she was murdered in the windbreak.
As it turned, Ole's mother did know something about the tragedy that had taken place on her house's grounds. The woman said that the murdered girl's head had been found here. However, her body had been found in the windbreak 5 kilometers from the town. The psychics immediately contacted the project's detective. Katerina Malichenko promised to be there as soon as possible.
You stay here because how can we take you with us?
Okay.
Soon, the psychics are in the windbreak, where Irina Humarova's body was found, and they're trying to find the way to the site of the girl's murder using their feelings.
It's somewhere here.
Irina's spirit emerged. She didn't say anything. She simply nodded to let us know we were in the right spot.
The project's detective arrives at the site of the tragedy.
I don't have the case materials yet. I didn't have much time, but I found some articles.
Zhytomyr Cannibals, from rumors to truth.
Do you mean Irina was disembodied and eaten?
This is terrible.
All the information from such articles must be carefully verified.
A man and a woman. It's a date. A card of dates.
All the articles indicate that the individual convicted of the murder was a male.
I see someone I want to kill. I see my victim.
Was the murderer standing there?
He's watching. He's hiding behind the bush and watching.
Describe him, please. Do you see the murderer?
It's a young woman.
Wait. Are you trying to say that the murderer was a woman?
Yes.
Does this mean a wrong person was convicted for the murder? Is the true murderer free?
I don't understand why the couple came to the windbreak, but the murderer, the woman, was watching them. It was her who committed the crime. The murderer thought of Irina as her rival who threatened to take away her man.
if Irina wasn't murdered by the man who's now in prison. We needed to find the real murderer.
One of the drivers must have a map.
Give us a map. Do you have?
We're over here. Where do we need to go? What do we have here?
Psychics pointed to the village, which is located only a few kilometers from the place of Irina's death.
There's going to be a triangle. Some kind of triangle. I don't get it. Many people, they're dead. Lots of people. The dead under the same cross.
A graveyard?
Just a second. A building. People come in there. A cafe.
There's a bridge there.
A graveyard, a cafe, and a bridge. The psychics feel the bloody murderer is supposed to live somewhere here. The clairvoyants resume their search.
I see a green fence and a house of a fair color. It's white.
Open the door, please.
What is this?
What is your name?
Helena.
The murderer's traces brought us here. That woman radiated the same kind of energy that I felt at the site of Irina's murder. The murderer was this woman's relative. We're talking about your daughter.
What can I tell you?
Her husband used to be in charge of this thing. She was a victim of all this.
Nobody could understand what these people were talking about. Why was their daughter a victim? And what was their son-in-law in charge of?
Helena explained that her son-in-law, Volodymyr, was in prison for murdering Irina Humarova. He was sentenced to life imprisonment. But the psychics believe the true murderer is still free. And this is Helena's daughter.
Does this mean Irina was having a date with a married man? And the betrayed wife tracked them down and killed her rival? Then why is Volodymyr the one who is in prison? And why do these people claim that their daughter, Svetlana, is a victim?
Give me her phone number, please.
The woman goes in the house and makes a call. She's talking to Svetlana, her daughter.
Hello. I have a question. Did you kill Irina because you knew Volodymyr was in love with her and would leave you?
I've never killed anybody in my life.
Irina's spirit emerged again. She was standing in tears, repeating the same phrase, that her heart had been eaten. The spirit of this girl, Irina, says, "She ate my flesh." Does this mean Svetlana ate human meat?
Nonsense. Absolute nonsense.
Svetlana, can we meet?
I refuse to meet you or talk to you.
Svetlana, I feel that Irina's spirit is not going to bother you anymore. You see, she haunted you because she wanted to establish contact to ask for help. You did it right. I feel that she's grateful.
Thank you so much.
The project's detective expert has filed an inquiry to the police to receive the case files, and we all were shocked when the reply came.
It turns out that Svetlana has been released from prison recently. She spent 10 years behind the bars. Based on the court's verdict, she was a victim in this case. We found out that she has a child from Vladimir Konovalchuk. Threatening her and her child's lives, Volodymyr forced Svetlana to assist him in committing murders.
So, is Svetlana a victim, as the court ruled? Or is she the murderer, as the psychics feel? A few days later, Svetlana contacted us and agreed to talk to us to have a chance to address her son from the TV screen.
After Svetlana was sentenced to prison, she was deprived of her parental rights. The boy lives in another family and doesn't speak to his mother.
I live my life for him. I can only hope that he at least listens to me. Because I wasn't a bad mother. I did the best I could to protect him from his father.
Did you know Cyrena?
No, all I remember is her long hair, but I can't even recall her face.
And your husband, Vladimir, did he know her?
For a brief period. About 2 months, if not even less.
This is the woman I saw in the woods.
She knew where she was going. She takes some clothes with her and puts them in something. It looks like some bucket. Why would she need the bucket?
To take the head with her.
How did you take Irina's head home?
He had a bag. I felt like I was in a haze, and I didn't even understand what he was doing. All I saw was that he was packing something and then taking it with him.
What the psychics feel doesn't match Svetlana's words. Could they be wrong? Several days later, our expert did obtain the case materials.
Svetlana brought a bucket, a rope, and a change of clothes to the site. In other words, it means the murder had been planned from the very beginning. Svetlana initially knew she would be smeared in blood.
He was planning to demand a ransom. He was going to approach her as a man who was interested in her to win her trust and lure her somewhere to make her father give him all his money. Then he was planning to release her.
According to the files, Volodymyr and Svetlana, armed with pistols, came to Irina's parents and demanded the ransom. But it was after the girl was murdered.
It was a deliberate murder, committed through the devil. A ritual murder. What ransom?
I see this man standing over Irina while she's alive and stabbing her with this knife.
No. I only saw her when she was dead.
This is a lie, an absolute lie.
Both Volodymyr and Svetlana stabbed her in turns. It was established through the crime reenactment and confirmed by the examination.
Ask her why they needed her head and what they did with it.
The scalp was behind the door, in the corner. It hung on a hook, like a wig. But I didn't see the skull. After we were arrested, and the police conducted a search, they found him under the stove. He hid it there.
I have a clear idea, Timsan, of a family at the dinner table. Here is a plate, and on the plate is a heart.
Did you eat Irina's flesh?
You're asking strange questions. I'm really outraged because of the rumors that were spread that it was cannibalism.
The files don't mention the cannibalism. They only state that the body was mutilated.
We found the investigator who was in charge of the case 15 years ago and asked him what the law enforcers meant by stating the body had been mutilated.
They cut the meat off the body and ate it. We also found and confiscated jars that contained preserved human meat. The examination revealed the meat was of a human origin. Remains, human remains.
With this meat, they're trying to show their excellence. Like, we're not simple humans, but we're superhumans.
A little later, we went to the prison where Svetlana served her sentence to find out about her behavior behind the bars.
She had a notion that they were superhumans. She was very aggressive, believing she was a superhuman.
Tell me, how did you get the idea to sever the head? Who suggested it?
I don't know whether it was his idea or he took it from a book. It was a book by Carlos Castaneda. In it, an Indian magician transfers his knowledge to his student. In this book, it is also said that when you kill your enemy and remove his heart, you become stronger. And in his book, the Indians took scalps from skulls. It was all connected with magic.
We seized occult literature. Apart from killing her, they took her skull and made it an occult item.
My hands aren't bloodied.
Her hands are covered in blood, and not only Irina's, there are other victims.
After Irina's murder, did you participate in other attacks?
No, never.
When our detective received a reply to her inquiry about Svetlana Konovalchuk, we were absolutely shocked.
Svetlana was a participant of 17 cases of attacks on people. Look, on the 2nd of June 2002, Svetlana lured a man into a windbreak. Another man was waiting for them there. It wasn't her husband, Volodymyr. The man started beating the victim with a piece of a metal pipe, while Svetlana stabbed him with a bayonet in his ear. The man survived and went to the police. They attacked him, trying to rob him. It happened a week after Irina Humarova's murder.
Volodymyr wasn't even close there. Therefore, he couldn't force the woman to commit violence.
We can't believe this woman's words. She's clearly a manipulator. She's not a victim.
The 18th of November, 2001. This is 8 months before Irina Humarova's murder. Svetlana and her husband and brother attacked a couple to rob them. The people survived. This is what they stated. The men were demanding money while the woman was holding them at the gunpoint. It means Svetlana was holding the gun. She shot the man in the chest, and I don't get it. How could the court rule she was the victim?
The victim that in reality was the leader of the gang, the cold-blooded murderer. Now I see why Irina's spirit was trying to make contact with us so desperately. This person is free, and it's actually her who poses real danger.
We just can't understand it. Thanks to her manipulations, Svetlana received the status of the victim and spent only 10 years in prison for the violent crimes she'd committed. We hope that after our psychic's investigation, the police will revise her case, and this woman will receive the punishment she deserves. If you're also shocked by the story, give it your likes, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel to make sure you won't miss new episodes.